Hi and good afternoon everyone. Welcome to Supergrads. My name is Abhyansh Sir and here I am with a two-part series on idioms and phrases. Idioms and phrases is one of those topics that has been consistent over the last 4 years in IPMAT Indore examination, and there have been different ways in which the examiner tests your skills on idioms and phrases. Sometimes there are direct idioms, sometimes there are contextual idioms, sometimes you get very easy questions like just completing the idiom, knowing the complete idiom. I think that also helps. So in this two-part series, today I am here with 25 MCQs, but you should not treat them as just 25 MCQs because I have a lot to offer to you people. And of course, जो कल session होगा, that would be an innovative session and it would be in a different manner. It would not be in the MCQ format. So that is the agenda of today's session. I hope everyone is ready and excited, guys. And it's time we begin this. All right. All right. So that is the kind of energy that I expect from all the students. Let's begin. And here is our first idiom, the first type. And again, it's not just about answering the question. Your biggest takeaway from this session should be कि apart from these 25 idioms, आपने और क्या-क्या सीखा. So I hope everyone is ready with the pen and the notebook. Let's start with the first one. So after his long string of failures, the final success was truly a dash from the blue for him. So throughout these two sessions that I have, the one is scheduled today and the other one is on Saturday. In these two sessions, I'll also tell you ways to develop idioms and phrases. Idioms and phrases. जब आप सुनते हो, so you feel कि sir, how many idioms should I do? What is a good number? What is a safe number? There's nothing like a good number or a safe number. The best thing you can do in idioms and phrases is learn idioms through different themes. Now, if we talk about this idiom, students, so the final success was truly a dash from the blue. So the complete idiom is bold from the blue. Bold from the blue for him. So again, in such a question, it is not about knowing the meaning of the idiom. Instead, अगर आपको पूरा idiom पता था, that would have helped you answer this question. And as I said, theme. So this idiom comes from the theme, from the category of color idioms. So इन सेशंस को आप मैक्सिमाइज कैसे कर सकते हो, आपके क्या बेनिफिट्स हैं? आपने क्वेश्चन 1 देखा, आपने देखा बोल्ड फ्रॉम द ब्लू कलर के ऊपर एक इडियम था. आप शॉर्ट टर्म गोल आपका क्या होना चाहिए? शॉर्ट टर्म गोल ये होना चाहिए कि ब्लू रिलेटेड जितने भी इडियम्स हैं वो आपके पास कंपाइल होने चाहिए. ब्लू रिलेटेड जितने भी इडियम्स हैं वो आपके पास कंपाइल होने चाहिए. What is your long-term goal from this question? Long-term takeaway from this question कि जितने भी color related idioms हैं वो आप अपने पास लिखें. The choice is yours. आप क्या क्या सीखना चाहते हो? So I think ये आपका approach होना चाहिए. It should not just be limited to answering this question. So blue related idioms compile करो. मुझे chat section में जरूर बताना. मुझे comment section में भी बताना. What have you people done? क्या आपने ब्लू रिलेटेड और इडियम्स लिखे हैं? क्या आपने कलर रिलेटेड और इडियम्स लिखे हैं? अगर हाँ, so drop me a message in the comment section. Here is the next idiom. And what category is this? As I said, categories, themes. These are some of the things which are very important when it comes to having good command over idioms and one word substitution also. The negotiations are going nowhere until the mediator's intervention dash the ice between the two sides. Dash the ice. Correct idiom here is break the ice. Break the ice means to start a conversation or a negotiation. So break the ice broke the ice between the two sides. Now this is again one of those idioms जो हम किस कैटेगरी में पढ़ते हैं सर? हम पढ़ते हैं फूड आइटम idioms में. So always focus on the short term goals and the long term goals. Short term goal आपका ये होना चाहिए कि ice related और क्या क्या idioms हैं जो important है एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, आप उसे गूगल कर सकते हो, चैट जीपीटी कर सकते हो, अपने पास कंपाइल कर लो. लॉन्ग टर्म गोल फूड आइटम जितने भी उसके ऊपर, आई थिंक देयर मस्ट बी अराउंड 60 to 70 such idioms. There's a list of 60 to 70 idioms. वो आपके पास कंपाइल होना चाहिए. So that is how I'll be teaching you in today's live session. And क्या क्या categories निकल कर आ रही है, by the end of session you'll realize that there are broadly only 8 to 10 categories that we need to work on. वो 8 to 10 categories कर लोगे आप, by default you'll get to somewhere around 600 to 700 idiom. I'm not saying that is all, but that is a good number. And उसके ऊपर फिर जितना आप build कर सकें. When she realized she had misunderstood the entire concept, she had to eat humble pie. Eat humble pie. This is again food item related idiom. Eat humble pie means to accept an unpleasant situation. So what should be your biggest takeaway? What should be your goal? थर्ड क्वेश्चन में आपने पढ़ के ये समझना है कि फूड आइटम रिलेटेड idioms are very important. Food item related idioms are very important, students, and this session is, it's not just कि हमने कोई random कहीं से questions उठा लिए and we are planning to deliver 25 questions. No, that is not what I'm doing here. These questions have been framed keeping in mind the previous year papers that were there in 2025, 2024, 2023. So 2025 4-3 को ध्यान में रखते हुए ये questions compile किए हैं, and who knows, there could be one of these questions in the upcoming 2026 exam as well. So that was our third idiom for today. And as I said, food items पे आपको work करना चाहिए. That doesn't mean that you go and start eating something. Crux समझने जाओ. Here is the next question, and this is not just about completion of an idiom. आपको यहाँ पे choose करना है कि correct idiom क्या होना चाहिए. So the startup finally dash when major investments pulled out at the last moment. So startup finally dash when major investors pulled out. Now investors have decided to pull out of it. That means they have withdrawn their funding. जो भी वो funding provide कर रहे थे, they have withdrawn that. So hit the jackpot is to get lucky, get rich. It's a positive idiom, not in context. Crash down, it should be went in smoke. Went in smoke means to fail. To fail. Now, this is, if you say, sir, fourth idiom हम किस category में रखें? So there's no category for it. As I said, broadly there are 8 to 10 categories जिन पे discussion करना है. So once you do that, once you do those categories, you will get somewhere close to 600 to 700 idioms. Then I am pretty sure you people must be having a book जिसमें idioms का list है from A to Z. Start reading from A to Z. The moment you read the first 20 idioms, you'll realize कि out of these 20 idioms, यार 10-12 idioms तो ऐसे हैं जो मैं इन categories में पढ़ चुका था. So by doing that, वो learning भी आपके लिए easy हो जाता है. So idiom कैसे build करना है, क्या process होना चाहिए, I think इस बारे में सारे बच्चों को अब clarity. Moving on to idiom number 5, students. His ambition to finish the marathon seemed dash at first, but he trained relentlessly. So marathon finish kar, initially it looked like something, but he trained relentlessly. So initially, if you come to me and say, sir, I want to run a marathon, I would say, ha, theek hai, but I would think you are not very serious, or you're aiming for something very big, aiming for something unachievable. But if I see you train relentlessly without stopping, I would say the ambition has been fulfilled. So it should be a tall order. It seemed like a big task, a tall order. The other idioms that we have, out of the woods, that means to suddenly become more social. Over the moon, overjoyed, happy. In black and white, again, if you look at this idiom category, we'll talk about categories and themes. So first question जो हमने किया था, bold from the blue, out of the blue. Black and white is also a similar one from color idioms. So color idioms. अभी तक first 5 questions में what have we identified? Color idioms important है, food idioms important है. अगर मैं आज भी preparation start करने का सोच रहा हूँ, idioms sir कैसे start करूँ? I think this should be a way of doing it. So that was your question number 5, students. Moving on to question number 6 now. Moving on to question number 6. So despite the team's initial enthusiasm, their performance dashed when they faced the real pressure. So initially they were highly enthusiastic, and of course the sentence starts with despite. Despite भी लिखा है, but भी लिखा हुआ आगे. So this means it fell flat. Fell flat is to fail. To fail. So that would be the correct answer and the correct usage of this idiom. That was question number 6. And जो themes बता रहा हूँ, please by the end of the session मुझे आप comments में जरूर लिख कर बताना कि sir these are the themes that we need to work on. Give yourself a time of 6 to 7 days and then come back to this video's comment section and बता देना मुझे कि sir goal achieved. Here is question number 7. The professor's explanation was so clear that it dashed the essence of the theory. So hit the nail on the head. I think this is the complete idiom. That means to be exact or precise. That is what this idiom is all about. Next is cut corners, means to cut costs. Beat around the bush. Beat around the bush is talking, not coming to the direct point of something. Miss out is to miss out on an opportunity. So hit the nail on the head. Nail on the head. Cut corners, beat around the bush. So ये idiom कौन से category में आता है? Hit the nail on the head. This is under the category of objects and weapons. Objects and weapons. तो क्या करना है आपको? क्या करना है आपको? आपको तीसरी कैटेगरी मिल गई और सेशन के एंड तक आपको ऐसी 8 to 10 कैटेगरीज में देकर जाने वाला हूं to work on for the upcoming week, students. Right, guys? चलो नेक्स्ट idiom देखते हैं. That is idiom number 8 for today's session. Question 8 are the investors should be cautious of schemes that promise high returns as they may dash trouble later. They may chew up trouble, they may stir up trouble, they may bottle up trouble or add fuel to trouble. So in this question, the correct phrase would be as they may stir up. It will cause something to happen. It may cause something to happen. So not a lot to learn from this question, as I said, क्योंकि ये किसी category में नहीं जाएगा. Let's move to question number 9, students. Let's move to question number 9. So it's not exactly an idiom, but correct word usage is what we are looking for in question number 9. So the manager's constant criticism only served to dash the morale of the team. Constant criticism would lead to dash the morale of the team. So I think अगर criticism है, so lift, boost and straight and raise. It would not raise, lift, or boost the morale. Rather, it would sap the morale. Sap the morale of the team. Hi, beta Mohit. Hi, everyone. And I hope you're finding this sessions on idiom useful. Here is again an idiom, students, and this is just about correct formation of an idiom. Is question maybe you don't need to tell about you don't need to tell the meaning of the idiom. Rather, सिर्फ idiom का correct formation क्या होता है, correct formation पे ही question है. A good leader must know when to dash fire and when to encourage. So when to play with fire is the correct idiom. Play with fire is the correct idiom. So that was question number 10, students. Moving on to question number 11. Moving on to question number 11. His sudden resignation really dash a can of worms about internal conflicts. So worms को कहाँ पे categorize करोगे? चलो ये बता दो मुझे. Since we have been talking about categories and themes for the last 17 minutes, worms will fall in the category. Worms will fall in the category of animal idioms. So एक super important category है students, that is animal idioms. Super important category. When you go and study animal idioms, you would see there are around 80 to 100 such idioms. Super important. You can put as many stars as you wish to. And the idiom is open a can of worms. When you open a can of worms, what would happen? पहले उसका literal meaning देखते हैं, फिर we'll talk about how is it used metaphorically here. So when there's a can that has a lot of worms, उसको आप खोलोगे. So there would be एक के बाद एक, a lot of worms coming out. So when you open a can of worms, it means there would be problems one after the other. So it really opened a can of worms about the internal conflict. मतलब एक के बाद एक नए conflicts वहां पर निकल कर आ रहे थे. Right, guys? So this would, as I said, would be in animal idioms, and animal idioms बहुत important है. If you don't trust me, just go back and see the previous year papers of 2023, 2024 and 2025. Animal idioms आपको मिल जाएगा वहां पे. ठीक है? Here is question number 12. Here is question number 12. Here is question number 12. Students who don't revise regularly often dash the boat and miss out on crucial marks. So the idiom would be miss the boat. Miss the boat, that means to lose an opportunity. Miss the boat means to lose an opportunity. So boat objects में शायद उसे आप categorize कर सकते हो. So that was question number 12, students. Moving on to question 13. And here comes another very important category of idioms. Another very important category of idioms. When asked about the results, she dashed cold feet and avoided answering altogether. She got cold feet Get cold feet means to get nervous, frightened. To get nervous or frightened. Now this comes under the category of body parts idiom and bacha party. You can mark as many stars as you wish to, because as I said, animal idioms, color idioms, body part idioms starting from head to toe. In this category of body part idioms, you will get somewhere again around 60 to 80 very, very, very important idioms, students. So you cannot afford to miss out on body part idioms. And I'll be waiting for your comments once the session is over कि आपने body parts idioms लिख लिए हैं, आपने color idioms लिख लिए हैं, आपने animal idioms का एक अच्छा collection अपने पास रख लिया है. Idioms पढ़ने का यही तरीका होता है. Now comes question 14. Let's see what do we have in question 14, students. Question 14. The project was successful because the team left dash unturned in their research. Last break, next page, single leaf. So the correct idiom is no stone to leave no stone unturned. Leave no stone unturned means to try everything possible. To try everything possible. Again, stone को भी आप objects and weapons उस वाले category में compile कर सकते हो. So that was question number 14. And I don't think anyone got this one correct. So I would say try again when it comes to question number 15. Here is the next question. The change in policy was welcomed by all as it finally dashed the deadlock. So break the deadlock is a correct idiom. Deadlock is a word. Deadlock, and there's also a similar word which is very common in exams. I think last year किसी paper में तो था, if not Indore, Rohtak, JIPMAT, I think in one of these three. So deadlock and impasse. Deadlock and impasse. Impasse is a very important word, students, and this means a situation of no progress. A situation of no progress. A situation of no progress where neither side is willing to compromise, neither side is willing to give up. So break the deadlock would be the correct idiom in this context. Change in policy was welcomed as it finally broke the deadlock. That means there must have been there must have been zero negotiations between the two parties. There must have been a situation jahan pe neither party was willing to give up. So new policy finally came and it broke that. So break the deadlock would be correct here. That was question number 15, students. Here is the next question. Next question, students. His performance was so inspiring that it really dashed water among the judges. Now, to hold water means to be valid or reasonable. So when we say something holds water, that means it appears to be true, it appears to be reasonable. It is something that is valued by, again, judges. यहाँ पे judges का context है, और किसी के सामने भी अगर आप अपनी बात present कर रहे हो, so it could be used in that way as well. So that was question 16, students. Hold water. Next up, we have I want you people to come up with the meaning of stone wall. Stone wall. Now, even if you face such an idiom for the first time in an exam, you can look at the context, and I think contextually चीजें easy हो जाती हैं. It becomes easy to eliminate the options. So here is your next. Here is your next question. So a lot of you have answered option C, which I believe is not the correct answer. When the auditor started asking uncomfortable questions, the manager decided to stonewall him. So to stonewall means to delay or obstruct. To delay or obstruct. So B must be the correct answer. To delay by legal means. Stonewall idiom का ये meaning होता है. And again, you can expect similar questions in the upcoming IPMAT Indore and Rohtak exams. So that was your question 17, students. Next idiom is throw in the towel and continue. So despite repeated failures, she refused to throw in the towel and continued preparing for the examination. What could this mean in the context of the sentence? What could this mean in the context of the sentence, students? What could this mean in the context of the passage, guys? So throw in the towel is to admit defeat. Admitting defeat. You're surrendering. This is an idiom that has been taken from sports. Sports में ये idiom boxing में, wrestling में काफी use होता है. ठीक है. So throwing in the towel is admitting one's defeat. Here is the next idiom, and the idiom is red herring. Now red herring, again, the categories, the themes that I was talking about, color idioms, animal idioms. Herring is a fish. Herring is a fish. So color idioms आप अगर पढ़ते हो, I think this would be easy. If you have good command over animal idioms, I think वो भी answer करना easy हो जाएगा. So the proposal looked attractive on paper. It looked attractive, but once scrutinized closely, it turned out to be a red herring. A red herring is a misleading clue. A red herring is a misleading clue. So an irrelevant distraction B is the correct answer as answered by you people. Finally, correct answers आना अब शुरू हो गए. And I see today's session has it's not just about those 25 questions that we are discussing. मेरी कोशिश ये है कि सेशन के थ्रू आपको ये समझ में आ जाए कि idioms approach कैसे करना है. What is the correct way of learning idioms? What is the correct way of dealing with idioms? So that, my dear students, was question number 19. Here is the next question. Cut ice with someone. So there was break ice. Now there is cut ice. And as I said, आपका short term goal ये होना चाहिए कि ice related idioms आपके पास लिखे हो. Long term goal, food item idioms, animal idioms, color idioms, object and weapons idiom, nationality idioms and many more categories. बहुत सारे categories पे आज discussion कर रहे हैं. बहुत सारे categories पे हम कल भी discussion करेंगे at the same time. The minister's assurance failed to cut any ice with the protesting farmers. That means it did not have any effect on the farmers. Where do we see that? Have an effect. Here is option C, your correct answer, students. Yes, guys, option C, जिन बच्चों ने answer किया है, that is absolutely correct. That was question number 20 for you. Let's move to question number 21. The committee decided to sweep the issue under the carpet rather than confront it publicly. Sweep the issue under the carpet. It means to try to avoid a problem, avoiding a problem, ignoring a problem. Right? So, resolving the issue, nahi. Postponing a decision, nahi. Deliberately ignoring a problem. You're just trying to sweep it under the carpet. You're not trying to give it importance, not trying to address that issue, not trying to resolve that particular issue. Sirf ignore kar diya, avoid kar diya, that is what you're doing here. So C must be the correct answer here for question number 21. C must be the correct answer. Let's focus our attention now on question number 22. Jumping the gun. Jump the gun. Here is question number 22, students. Jump the gun is an idiom. Now gun is again आप objects and weapons वाले category में और भी gun related idioms देख सकते हो. So jump the gun means act too early. बहुत जल्दी कोई action ले लेना without proper consideration. आप बस जल्दबाजी कर रहे हो. So taking an action too early is what this idiom jumping the gun means. That was question number 22, students. Let's focus now on question 23. Something that is up in the air. Something that is up in the air. So the policy sounded promising. It looked promising, but its long-term consequences remain up in the air. Long-term consequences अभी भी हवा में है. What does that mean? कोई surety नहीं है, कोई certainty नहीं है. So what could be the correct answer for question number 23, students? What could be the correct answer for question number 23? As you people have answered, something that is uncertain. Something that is uncertain. Up in the air, uncertain. Policy sounded promising, but its long-term consequences remain up in the air. Here is question number 24. Test the waters. Now, अगर आप एग्जाम सिनेरियो में ये इडियम्स पहली बार भी देख रहे हो तो क्या करें? अब आंसर तो करना है. How would you eliminate the options? आप एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन को छोड़कर तो नहीं आ सकते। सो क्या अप्रोच होगा अगर आप पहली बार भी ये इडियम फेस कर रहे हो, क्या अप्रोच होगा आपका? Here is the next idiom. So, by leaking selective information, the spokesperson tried to test the waters before making a formal announcement. So, he was measuring public reaction. He was testing क्या reaction हो सकता है, क्या नहीं हो सकता है. So, A must be the correct answer for question 24. And that brings us to the last question, and the idiom here is a paper tiger. A paper tiger. So we are ending the session on a note of animal idioms, students, and I would want you people to comment the answer for this question, and also work on the categories that I have discussed today, categories related to color idioms, body part idioms, animal idioms. इनसे related जितने भी idioms हैं, I am expecting कि अब आपके पास compile हो जाएंगे. So I'll be waiting for your comments for question number 25, and I'll see you all now tomorrow at the same time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.